If you are struggling to generate enough topspin, these are my top 5 tips to help you rip up the ball and drive your opponent back. Topspin is one of the most important facets of the modern game. Now, when we are coaching, there is lots of different ways, lots of different tricks and tips to help people generate more topspin or even access topspin in the first place. And I'm going to give you 5 concepts / ideas that you should really be aware of and you should be in tune with when you're playing if you're trying to get more spin. Why do we want topspin? Well, the forward revolutions on the ball give you some control as it cuts through the air. So if you've got any wind, it helps keep the direction. But the spin itself, it makes the ball drop steeper as it slows down towards the end. And because it's come down steeper, the bounce is therefore steeper and higher too. That pushes your opponent back and makes them play more balls higher, harder for them to attack you. So a great way for you to stay in the point. It also means you can hit the ball harder. Your swing can be fast because you're turning some of that energy into spin, and that allows you to dominate and control the baseline and control the point. So if you're not using topspin or you're not using enough, stay tuned, because I guarantee you won't have heard of all 5 of these before. Let's get into it. When you first start generating topspin, there is a core element that you must do. It's basic, it's simple, but you have to get it right. And it's very simple. It's to get your racket below the ball. Now, many players get this wrong because they drop their racket what they think is below the ball, but they're actually dropping at the same speed as the ball, so they never get below it. You have to get behind the ball and get your racket down quicker and earlier than the rate of the ball coming in. Therefore, you can come up to meet it, and as your racket comes up, that is where you start that sensation, you start that feeling of generating topspin. So get your racket below the ball early and make sure you're coming up to meet it. This next tip is all about what happens after you've contacted the ball. Your follow through height. You need to make sure your racket is coming steeply up the ball, and when this happens, your follow through will be high, at least to your shoulder, if not above your shoulder. That is going to make sure you can really generate extra topspin. Of course, you can generate topspin with a more whippier swing, but that is a different amount of topspin. If you just want pure spin, pure height and bounce, then a higher follow through height will help you do that. So make sure you finish high. Think of that Rafa Nadal kind of lasso above his head. That is how you really can get revolutions on the ball. My next tip enables me to explain the difference between force and power and speed. Now, power and force is how fast your racket travels through the ball. Speed is how fast your racket is swinging. And when we're generating spin, we want to have a fast racket, not a powerful racket. We want our racket speed to be really high, turning that speed, turning that energy into revolutions, into spin on the ball, rather than into speed and power through the ball and the actual ball speed. So we have our total force we're putting into it. We're using speed of our racket, the higher that is, to generate more spin and less forwards momentum, because our energy is turning into spin rather than forwards momentum. So if you want to increase either force or spin, it requires more speed. The direction of your swing obviously determines whether that gets translated into spin or into a flatter, faster shot. So increase that racket speed and you will increase your spin. It is very complicated to think about your racket starting below the ball, to finish high, to have the right amount of racket speed, and that is why here at PH Tennis we have combined them all. We talk in sensations. We talk about how the impact feels, what we're trying to do to the ball. And when you understand that, and when you really let that come into your game becomes more natural, it becomes more fluid, and if you pick the correct sensation for your own body, you get the extra spin you desire. So if I'm trying to play and I think about ripping the ball, ripping the felt off the ball, straight away, my racket will get below the ball. I'm going to come up as I try and rip the felt off the back of the ball. I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to finish high. all naturally and all because of the sensation I'm trying to make myself do. This clears out all the clutter. This clears out all the technical information and boils it down to a simple, natural movement. So find a sensation that works for you. It could be rip, it could be roll, it could be brush, it could be whip, it could be snap. It doesn't matter what it is. If that makes you come up from underneath the ball, if it makes you accelerate, if it makes you finish high, then that is going to give you more spin and help you generate that proper natural topspin that you're looking for. So pick a sensation and you're well on your way. This is the golden topspin tip. It is not about how, it is about when. And when you choose to use topspin at the right time, and when you do it on the perfect ball, that is when natural topspin really comes into its own. It'll be more consistent and you will get more of it. And this is all about the direction of the incoming ball. Here at PH Tennis we talk about it's the ball's trajectory. We want that incoming ball to be dropping, so it's bounced, it's risen, it's leveled off and it's coming down. As that ball comes down, our racket is coming up to meet it. The ball and the racket are on the same plane, traveling in opposite directions. This allows us to generate loads of spin, and if our timing's slightly off, we meet it higher or lower along that plane, we still get the right solid contact, so our consistency goes up too. If you want to play with loads of topspin, let that ball drop. Dominic Thiem, Rafa Nadal, that is what they did. They sat back in the court, let it come down and ripped it back up. So if you want to play with loads of topspin, that is how you need to play too. Sit back, let it drop, pick a sensation, you're away.
Dominic Thiem. I can't believe how defensive you were about Dominic Thiem. Grand Slam champion. I think that's fine.
Dominic Thiem, US Open champion, therefore makes it into the video. Joseph.
Dominic Thiem doesn't even talk about Dominic Thiem.
If you want to generate topspin, these are the 5 things you must do. But really, I've only given you 2. I've given you sensations, which is the combination of all the technical stuff. The combination of getting your racket below the ball, the right racket path and follow through height, the right speed. And that even translates into more finer details like body position, loading in your feet and grip. If you pick a sensation, all those natural things, all those things should start to happen. If they don't, change the sensation, try something else. If you can get a sensation that works for you, you're going to make all of those other things happen naturally, quickly, and they won't break down. Then, once you've got that sensation, you fit it to the right trajectory. When that ball direction is correct, when it's dropping down, you come up, they meet in the middle and you are away. Of course, you can generate topspin on a ball that's rising when a ball's level. Of course you can, but it's much harder to time. You're probably not going to generate as much spin because the ball's going in the opposite direction, but you can do it. But if you want to do it consistently and with extra, then let that ball drop and you'll find your life a lot easier. Rip it up when it's dropping, and you'll get more spin. It's as simple as that. If you've enjoyed these tips, please let us know in the comments. If there's any other little secret topspin tips you know of, share it with the group, put it below so everyone can benefit from your wondrous experience. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you very soon.